Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. We are cracking on with the Discovery Sport. We'd like to get this one to a degree of being ready for the paint shop. In the last video, you would have seen Chris repaired both of these doors that we absolutely got for a bargain. This front door, I think I won for like £30, had a tiny bit of damage on the edge there. And this door, Chris actually found, it was quite far away. It was in Colchester, but was that 25 quid? Buy it now, but come complete with the glass, all of the mechanism, and the other door on here was proper punched in, so it was all ruined anyway. And of course, he's repaired that bit of damage on the quarter. I think that was about here, Chris, wasn't it? Just had like a corner dent. So today he's going to be getting on with some more of the dents on it, getting it, to, like I said, to a degree where it can go to the paint shop. So you've got a bit on that door, bit on that door, little bit on the tailgate, tiny little dent. Oh, and a little tiny bit on the edge of the quarter there, which is a shame because that was the only panel that probably didn't need painting. Would have had to have been painted to match, yeah. So I'm going to leave you in Chris's capable hands to do all the work. No, I'm going to leave you with Chris, and I'm actually running around doing, well, what would you say? It's odds and sods for another video that I'm halfway through. So let's crack on with it. Couple of hours I've been gone there, and Chris has cracked on, literally stripped where's the bumpers? In the paint booth. He's marked everything up here to do. Have you done anything on this door? Yeah. It's all, oh, that dent's gone.
Well, most of it, and done that shut line.
Oh, down the wing, yeah.
The bottom of the wing was damaged.
Is this the, oh, it is the original wing, isn't it? Yeah, so you've repaired that, got it straight, and now the gap's perfect.
If you show that little adapter on the end with a slide hammer, so that is
That one there.
That's it, that's for going down the shut line.
So you go in your shut, and then obviously pull back on the hammer whilst holding the handle, and of course that puts a bit of force on there and pulls it out. So you're going into the paint booth and you're going to strip the...
I'm going to finish stripping this. I've got to take that mirror off because there's a little dent under the mirror.
Right.
So I'll finish that and then strip the bumpers.
Well, hello, mate. We'll leave you to it. I know quite often a lot of you do always ask, why Chris was doing this, Rob? What was you actually doing? And the answer to that is you would have already seen the video. I got halfway through the Range Rover Sport and then flipped over to a bit of bidding and also got that Polo on the button. So that is what I've been doing in the background there, among a bit of running around. It's just action stations. Chris said he wants to get this one completely ready for paint. So that front bumper, we got this from one of our subscribers, is perfect. He stripped that off, got all of the grills off it. So that is actually ready to flat off. And I am going to ask, because Chris knows a bit more about it, although neither of us are painters. Chris does do a bit of painting. Because that's white, that bumper. Will you be able to flat that off and go straight over that with silver?
I will, but there is a couple of little tiny repairs to do on it where there's stone chips.
So he's going to want some primer.
You probably can't see it here, but where I was finishing it all off, there's a couple that have been touched up with touch-up paint.
I'm just going to repeat that in case people can't hear.
Need to be tickled off. So so they may need a little bit of plastic primer over them.
Right, guys, I do appreciate you probably didn't hear Chris. We're quite far away. We are going to start testing out these new microphones soon and just try and get a hang of them. But basically what you said there, if you didn't hear, was there is a few stone chips on this bumper that have been previously touched in. So, and a few little marks. So it is going to need flattening off and a little bit of primer. But it is now ready to...
be a little local repair, or a
little tiny spot repairs. Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Now you're going to move on and get the filler work done on the side of the car. Moving along very, very nicely. That's all the filler work done. And do you know what, guys? It's actually the next morning. And it's all gone off now, hasn't it, Chris? So Chris is going to crack on and actually get that smoothed out this morning. I'm going to say it. I say it all the time. It looks like a lot. But you'll see, once all of that is rubbed down, it is only covering the imperfections that are in the panels. 80% of that will be gone by the time he rubs it down. So let's let him get on with that and we'll see what it looks like after. But it looks like you're going to be ready to prime this later on at some point, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
You're going to have to take this in the booth, or you're going to remove those doors and...
Probably put it in the booth with the doors on.
Be a bit easier, wouldn't it?
It'd be tight, but...
A lot less work rather than stripping all those doors down. So let's crack on, get all that flatted off and hopefully get it in some primer. Serious amount of progress on this car, and although it has been sat around for quite a while, it's been a reasonably quick turnaround, really, considering we got lucky with the parts, didn't we? So the windscreen, the bonnet, the wing, they all come from one place, and the windscreen being second hand as well, got so lucky with Liam being able to cut that out of that metal frame and sticking it in. And again, original Land Rover windscreen. So very, very nice. And this, I'm sure, is going to turn out to be a really nice car. I know that Chris is probably really happy that the bodywork is coming to a good end now on this car, because it has been a lot of work, hasn't it, with both sides and changing the panels as well. He's been doing it out here today, and he's just had the door open, blown right out with the airline, had the car out there, blown all that off. So I'm not sure if he's going to be spot priming these doors or he's going to be priming the whole... I should imagine he's just going to be priming the fillered areas. So I think he's just gone to get a bit washed up because he's covered in dust, and then he's going to get this one bagged up and hopefully get it in some primer. And then we are getting very, very close to the next stage on this one. And like I just said, I think this is going to be a really, really nice car. Check this out. Finally coming to an end on this bodywork for Chris, because he's been doing it all. And you would have seen in that last little piece of time lapse, he went round and actually spot primed all of the repairs first, and maybe even went over them twice. I'd have to slow it down and look myself or ask him. but he covered the actual filler work repairs first with a bit of primer, and then went ahead and said, I actually said to him after the last cutting, are you going to spot prime that door? And he said, Rob, there's so many repairs on it, little parts, I'm probably going to do most of the panel. And as you can see there, he has done most of the panel. I know someone's going to mention the handle. Guys, the handle will come out for paint, but it didn't need to come out today. There was no need for it to come out. And that back door as well. So that is the 99% of the bodywork done. Let's just go into the paint booth. Very, very fortunate here. We're going to be doing the repair on this, aren't we? With the same black plastic paint that was used on the C3. But is it all right to pick that up?
Yeah.
These are actually the back bumper, believe it or not, aren't they?
The painted part.
The painted part, which is incredible. I genuinely didn't realise. But you can see where Chris is flattening that off, he's actually highlighted some low spots there.
Yeah, what it is, where they got caught there, where it's been pushed against the reinforcing panel, it actually pushed that all out. So
Yeah.
I've heat gunned it.
I've just seen you doing that actually.
And dressed it back in. And yeah, it's going to just need a little tiny bit on those.
It's actually still nice and warm, so we caught you a bit early there.
That's right.
And again, you got exactly the same the other side. The front bumper, I think I mentioned earlier, was already very nice. The chap gave this to us, but Chris did point out, hopefully we can pick it up with the camera. Let's try. So you can see there, when you are that close, how many little imperfections there is in the paintwork that's been touched up. And from back here, you just wouldn't see it, would you? And even standing there, you wouldn't see it. So he'll flat them out, put a bit of stopper in the ones that need stoppering, get a bit of primer on them, and he's finally ready for the paint shop, Chris.
Yeah,
Can't...
that's all got to be flatted yet.
Yeah, but it's getting really, really close. Guide coat.
Yeah, and then it's got to be flat.
I think there's a bit of, you've done the guide coat on the back, have you? Yeah. So basically, this is what Chris means, guys. Bit of black paint on there, highlight the high spots or the low spots, and the whole other side. So I can unbag this for you, Chris, while you're doing that, can I?
Yeah.
Right, let's get on. So today's cars we've got in our watch list, guys, we can't actually go on there. I'll just show you why I don't want to go on there. As soon as you click on it, you actually have to join the live auction. So that one's on a buy it now, and it's been relisted. That's one we've previously looked at. But say this one here, I bid on this morning. In order to get in there, you've actually got to join auction, and it's quite noisy. And you can't turn all of it off. You still hear quite a lot of the bidding in the background. So that's Skoda's in our watch list. The ones that are 5 days on them, they're ones that we've previously looked at, and they've been relisted, so they would have gone through on Monday. The little Fiat 500 there, I was looking at that earlier, but I think it's a private entry. Just one for us to buy and then sell on. And this little Polo, I actually had my mother-in-law in mind for it, because our car is getting quite old now. So I am going to actually try to buy that car still. Even though we've been outbid, I'm going to up our bid a little bit and try and get that one, because it is quite light damage. Let's just quickly show you. You can see it's a bit on the wing. A bit on the bonnet, the bumper and the front panel and headlight. So no mileage displayed and no keys with it. So hoping to nick this one for a little bargain. I bid 600 on it earlier, estimated retail 5,000. So I'm going to cut it short there because I want to get on there and bid for it. So a lot of time and effort into this one, guys, but Chris has got this one. Well, in the next 30 minutes, I suppose, or an hour, this is actually going to be ready.
Doors pretty much there now, Rob.
going to be ready to go to the paint shop, isn't it?
Tell cars always when it's wet, isn't it? How good your repair is, because that's when you see it. I don't know if you want to show that from an angle.
Yeah, mate, it looks perfect. Chris, I don't. The funny thing is, you say show it from an angle, but me personally, I wouldn't even look, and I wouldn't think to have a look because I wouldn't question it. But you're right, we are videoing it, so I should show it. But yeah, in the next 30 minutes there or an hour, this will be completely ready for the paint shop. I've been running around in that. If we need to go and get anything, any parts, I've been doing a little bit of running around in that Mini. But I did say to Chris, quite a lot of people in the video said, oh, you're not putting the Union Jack back on the bonnet. And that was actually the livery from the learner school, guys. So that was not part of that car originally. That is how that car should be. But like I say, I've been using that, and it's got quite a horrible noise, like a tyre noise coming from the back. So we're not sure if it's a wheel bearing or a tyre. So we'll have to investigate that one before we put that up for sale. But 2020, it can't be a lot, Chris, can it?
I wouldn't have thought so. It's not done heavy mileage, has it?
No. Right, we'll leave you to crack on with that, mate. Well, this will be the first one in quite a long time, and a lot of you are going to complain about it, I know, at the end of this video. Now, me and Chris know from the analytics, we do look, and we know that bodywork side of cars is not a big deal. I know quite a few of you are going to say, I really enjoy watching that particular part when he's putting a filler in. Shape, we know that everyone loves the shaping of the metal. But when it comes to wet flatting, Chris hates it. So I know that all of you guys are not watching it. We know that you're not watching it. On the analytics, it clearly shows us where the video dips off and where it picks up, mate, right?
That's right.
And there is only so much you can show on that car. We've got it to that point now where it is ready to deliver to the paint shop. And in the next video, I'll be delivering it to the paint shop. I ain't quite worked out yet how we're going to get that there.
Bit heavy, isn't it?
Well, it's too heavy for my truck.
Yeah.
We're probably, I don't even know, I'm going to have to arrange recovery to get it there, or get them to pick it up.
Yeah.
Or could we chuck the tray plates in it and tow it over there?
Well, it is manual, so it is towable, but got all the back lights out in there.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? So even that's going to be a little bit awkward in itself. So today is the first ever short video in a long time. It really is a short video, but there genuinely is no more we can show on it, and there wasn't quite that enough where it could go off for paint. It's probably going to be at paint for well over a week, so we're just going to be sitting there with this part of the video on the phone waiting to upload it, and it's just not worth it. There's a ton of work to do when it does come back from the paint shop, and like I said, you've seen Chris flat off those bumpers. We're not going to show him priming them, etc, etc. It's really not worth it. So that is the end of today's video. Another little bit that I do want to put in, I'll put out an Instagram post. Now, all the time I do stuff messing around, and I've got the camera out, and now even Chris, every time I'm speaking to him, he's like that, seeing if I've got the camera on, because we're two blokes in a workshop all day. We do have a bit of a laugh. We're not going to make a massive habit of it, but I'll put out an Instagram post when you'll be watching this video. And it was actually, I did it for a laugh. Chris said, have a look at this, blah, blah, blah. I did it for a laugh. And it was the David Attenborough sort of attempt when we was cutting down some bushes and looking at a couple of old cars. But that particular car that we did put a video out on, I'm going to be completely honest and transparent here, we recorded 17 minutes of a video of that Mark II Granada and that old console. And then if you remember a couple of weeks back, I actually put out and I said that I turned this thing on my phone, it deleted all videos over 30 days old. I actually lost every single bit of footage on that Mark II Granada and console. So that has gone. But nevertheless, that little Instagram post, I've read the comments and everyone seemed to find it quite funny. So that is the end of today's video. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, drop your thoughts in your comments in the comment section down below, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.